Alright, hey guys, remember TCG back in the video. So in this video, I haven't really done this, but I wanted to do a tier list for every EX card that is currently in TCG Pocket, as I thought it'd be kind of cool to explore it, and I've never really done a tier list, and I just think this would be a fun one to start out with. So I am going to be pulling up these cards on the left side for me to see, at the same time that I'm pulling these up for you guys, in case there's certain ones that I haven't seen yet. And you can see for the tiers, we have insane, solid, okay, potential, trash, just, trash, never seen or played. And so, yeah, we're gonna get started here with Venusaur-Ex. So Venusaur-Ex has been a weird card, right? In the beginning of a set, this card was decent. It was able to do a decent amount of damage and also heal itself. For 100 though, right now, it just isn't that great. And especially it being a stage 2, even with the introduction of rare candies, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be too great right now. Now I am reserving the trash section for like cards that I just don't think are playable. I think this card is okay, and it's just going to be it has some potential to do something. Not quite okay, I guess. It's just on the potential section here. Exeggutor-Ex. So this card, on the other hand, has seen a lot of play. This card does 40 damage, and then you can flip a coin, and if you flip for heads, it does an extra 40 damage. So it hits pretty well for just 1 energy. And yeah, a lot of grass cards that work really well with this card as well. So I think I'm gonna put Exeggutor-Ex. I might just leave it on okay. I'm wondering if I should put it on solid. I think I might do solid. I'll give it the solid. And yeah, just know this is my personal preference, and we're not too strict on like, where I'm going to be ranking these guys. And I am going to be changing this occasionally. I think maybe every set I could do this, kind of see how each deck plays out. You guys can let me know, and let me know what your tier list would be and what you would change, because there's definitely going to be things that you disagree with. So here, Charizard-Ex. This card has crazy longevity since the beginning of the game, even for Celestial Guardians, and even though we got the rare candies and the other Charizard-Ex has become more playable, this Charizard-Ex has been pretty good. So I'm just going to keep it on the solid here. I think if it was able to withstand this and stay at this point, just stay relevant, then that would have been worth keeping it insane. But I think for now it's solid. Arcanine-Ex hasn't really seen any play. I don't think I've seen anyone play this, so I'm just gonna dump this here, sadly. Moltres-Ex, this has gone together with Charizard-Ex. I think this card has a lot of potential in other future decks as well, in potential fire decks that just need energy production. So I think Moltres-Ex is pretty good, and put it on the solid here. Before I continue the video, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have a Patreon where you can help support the channel while also influencing the content I create. The link will be in the description, so make sure to check it out. Blastoise-Ex, I don't think I've ever really seen this card, even with the introduction of rare candy, and so I'm gonna just put it in trash, sorry. Starmie-Ex. So Starmie-Ex is pretty good. It does 90 damage and has a free retreat cost. When it first came out, this card was pretty insane, but 130 health, and it's weak to Cyrus. That's just, it's hurt the card a lot here, and I think in the future maybe there's something that can buff it up here, but 130 health and a Cyrus, and like Cyrus being introduced just really hurts the 0 retreat cost. But I'll just put it in the okay. I still like it enough to put it there. Articuno-Ex was a card that dominated early in the meta, the first set, and since then we haven't really seen it do anything. So yeah, it just does 80 damage for 3 water energies, and I think it just hits the back row. Right now it's just trash, I'm sorry, but it kind of is. Pikachu-Ex can hit for 90 damage. It hits 30 times for each Pokemon in the bench. This was the first deck I made as well, which you guys never even got to see me play. Pikachu-Ex, right now, haven't seen it once since Genetic Apex. So, sorry, trash. Zapdos-Ex, kind of the same story. I even ran in my Pikachu-Ex there just to kind of have a filler EX, because I was still trying to pull cards to build decks. And it's a fun card. It can hit for a lot of damage if you get the right coin flips, but otherwise it's not too great. Then we have Gengar-Ex. So Gengar-Ex prevents your opponent from using their supporter, and so this could be good, but when they first came out it just didn't do anything, and even now with the introduction, again with the rare candies that just kind of shaped up the meta, still nothing. 100 damage for 3 energies isn't anything too crazy as well. It's pretty good, but it's nothing too crazy, so I'm gonna have to put him in trash. Mewtwo-Ex, so this one was very powerful, one of the best decks when the game first came out. And with Gardevoir, it was just pretty great, just to be able to produce a bunch of energies and just fill this up and get him up and running. I think he hits very hard. He hits for 150 damage, which is still really good. And so I would have to put Mewtwo-Ex because of Gardevoir and because of the introduction of other psychic cards, that like the tablet thing that is able to help psychic cards. I don't know if I'd put him in like the solid. Yeah, I'd put him in solid. Yeah, if these guys are solid, then I'll put in there, because nothing has quite reached insane for me yet. And so I think this is fair to put these kind of all in the same tier. I'm sure I'm going to get people that disagree, but you know, that's what I'm signing up for by doing a tier list. Machamp-Ex, never seen this. It's never really done anything. Even though I've never seen it or really played it, I'm still going to put it in trash just because I know this, it kind of goes against this whole tier here. But I think this is reserved for cards that I've never like really seen, but maybe has something there. Honestly, there's a good chance we won't even end up using this tier list. I mean, this tier here. Marowak-Ex, so this does 80 damage. You get to flip 2 coins, and for each heads, you do 80 damage. That is pretty good, I think. But sometimes, you know, you either do 160 damage or you do 0 damage, and you know, somewhere in between. So with Marowak-Ex, I think it's fun. I think if they introduce a card that can control your flips a bit more, it can be even better. I'm not quite, you know, I'm not gonna put it in trash necessarily, because I see it having potential in the future. I see it. Maybe it's cope, but I can see it. Yeah, so I kind of believe that that is gonna see some play eventually. Okay, so with Wigglytuff-Ex, it does 80 damage for 3 energies, and it's able to put your opponent's Pokemon to sleep. This could be okay. If they ever introduce like double colors energies, that could be pretty good, just to kind of hit quickly, evolve into this 80, put it to sleep. But still, I feel like by then, there's gotta be better stuff, right? I'm just gonna put it in trash, I'm so sorry. Lapras-Ex does 80 damage, and I think it heals. Yeah, it heals 20 damage from this Pokemon. So this was a promo card. Never really used it. I used it for 1 deck, and that was it. So trash. Celebi-Ex. So this is another card that when it came out, it shaped up the meta. It just completely changed things. You were just feeding this with as much energies as you can feed it, and just flip as many coins as you can. Very fun deck. One of my favorite decks here. Right now, it's not too great, but I think I'm willing to put it at okay. I think if it gets, like with the Marowak thing, more ways to control the coin flips and more ways to kind of beef it up, even though it has 130 health, which isn't really that great right now, I think it has potential to be pretty good later on. And then we have Gyarados-Ex. So Gyarados-Ex here does 140 damage, and it also discards a random energy on the board. And so Gyarados-Ex is pretty good. I used it recently in a video. I really liked it. I thought it was cool, but it does take a bit to kind of set up, and you do need to like rely on Manaphy or Misties to really get it going. And so I think right now, because it is seeing some meta prevalence, it has slowed down a bit. I'll put it though on solid here. And so here we have Mew-Ex. The genome attack here is pretty good. You can use it to just kind of counter whatever your opponent gets out. If they wipe something that's on your side of the board, like an EX, then it's probably a strong attack. And so copying that will most likely mean you'll be able to destroy your opponent's Pokemon. I think this card is pretty flexible. I think it has some potential in the future as well. So I'm gonna put this card as an okay. So I feel like a lot of you guys are gonna disagree with the way I'm ranking things, but I don't know. This is kind of just, you know, a little bit off the cuff, but also just from my experience here. So Aerodactyl-Ex, this card is pretty good. It's kind of seen a little bit of resurgence here, because you're able to use its ability where your opponent's not able to evolve their active Pokemon. And because of all the rare candies, it can be okay. The thing is, it can still evolve the back row. And so there's that, but it still does 80 damage for 2 energies. I think he's pretty good. I think he's a solid EX. Pidgeot-Ex, haven't seen this like at all get any play. I'm just gonna put this over here, join the little buddies there. Then we have Yanmega-Ex. So Yanmega-Ex has an attack here, Air Slash, and you discard a random energy from this Pokemon. So yeah, that's not great. I'm just gonna put it in trash. Again, never seen that, so that's where it's gonna go. So Infernape-Ex. This card was pretty interesting when I first saw it. It does 140 damage, and you have to discard all energies from it. I think if there's a way to kind of recur like those energies, get it back onto the board. You know, usually in TCG, they tend to add little engines to kind of get these energies back onto your Pokemon. And so if they add that back, or if they add that into TCG Pocket, I think Infernape-Ex is gonna be really good. right now, he's pretty solid. He's still a very powerful card that gets insane value. So now Palkia-Ex, this card I played in a few water decks. It's kind of like the go-to water Pokemon. Does 150 damage. It's just a strong water Pokemon. I like him. He's pretty good. Has a good amount of health as well. So I'm okay with putting him in. Yeah, I don't know if I should put him in insane. I never like see Palkia-Ex and go like, oh, this is insane. So I'm just gonna put solid. I think he's good. I don't think he's insane, but yeah, he's just a good card. Okay, so Pachiru-Ex, this card does 40 damage. If it has a tool attached, it does an extra 40, and so 80 damage there for 2 energies is okay. He does have 120 health. I don't know, I was talking about the energies. 120 health isn't that great right now. There's a lot of things that can one-shot 120. And even though the attack is okay, I think we're just gonna have to trash him here. Now, Mismagius-Ex. So this card I haven't seen played. It can confuse your opponent's Pokemon, or it does confuse your opponent's Pokemon after attacking. It does 70 damage. It is a stage 1, so it's not too much of a commitment. I think for the right sleep deck, this could be pretty good, but right now I don't see it getting play. I just don't think it's complete trash like the other ones here. At least it has 140 health. It's a little bit better than the 120 of Pachirisu. Okay, so let's go over Gallade-Ex. So Gallade-Ex, 70 damage for 2 fighting energies. Pretty good. It's a stage 2. I played against it one time. I forgot what deck I was using, but if you guys are watching the series, then you saw it there. It kind of caught me off surprise. It does 20 damage for every extra energy you have on your Pokemon as well. So it can get pretty beefy. In the right meta, this is pretty good. I think right now it's between okay and has potential to be okay. He's better. I mean, he's better than these guys, right? Like, yeah, he's better than Mismagius and Marowak-Ex than Venusaur-Ex for sure. Venusaur might even get dropped here. He might just be trash, to be honest. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to drop the Venusaur-Ex. Sadly, it's just these guys at least can kind of get something in the future that can make it relevant. Venusaur-Ex, 100 heal 30 is nice, but for 4 energies, that's a lot to kind of ask for. And these other two, yeah, so I'm kind of okay with where I'm putting these so far. So Weavile-Ex, this one also caught the game by storm with Darkrai-Ex. If your opponent's Pokemon has damage on it, this card is going to be able to hit for 70 for 1 Dark Energy. It kind of fell off shortly after, but it's still a pretty good card. And I would still say that this is like between solid or okay. I think it's the right place to put it. I think I'd put it at okay, because it's not getting a lot of play. These cards on top, at least I occasionally see them. And Weavile-Ex, I just haven't seen it at all. So I'm not going to put it there. Darkrai-Ex. So this card kind of shaped the meta. It still has seen a lot of play. It's in the top decks right now. Darkrai-Giratina-Ex is just able to do damage, even though it doesn't have a crazy attack. Being able to do perpetual damage and its synergy with a lot of cards has made it a very powerful card that is definitely worth keeping in mind, that it's probably going to be for a while. And so I'm going to put it on insane. I think this is right to put as the first insane. It's been meta relevant since it first came out, and it just continues to do well. I've even seen like the reports with Giratina-Ex and Darkrai-Ex, how this deck just keeps winning even with the new meta. And so I think that's fair to put as the first EX, as the first insane. So Dialga-Ex, this card is mainly known for its first attack, being able to attack, do 30 damage, and then from there generate energies, metal energies for the back row. This card has a lot of potential in the future with future steel decks and even future colorless decks, just being able to generate energies relatively easily, but it still requires 2 to do so. And so for that, I think I'm just going to put it as a solid card, at least right now. Then we have Lickilicky-Ex. I've never seen this card been played. I think at this point, I don't think we even need this tier. I might just drop this here and just keep this. I'm just going to say Lickilicky-Ex trash. I don't think anybody's going to argue with me over that and be like, oh no, Lickilicky-Ex, that card's goated. Okay, but at the same time, it's the fact here, being able to flip a coin until you get tails, and it does. Okay, I'm gonna put this on potential. It's a little weird, right? I think this card has potential because it's just a stage 1, and because it does 100 damage, and if we get a coin flip item, this could be pretty good. I think right now it is just trash, but because it's just colorless and it works with a bunch of different decks, And again, we could put it like in Dialga-Ex if we wanted to make it work and then just rely on the coin flips. But otherwise, I think it just has some potential. Okay, so Celebi-Ex, this is the counterpart of Darkrai-Ex. Instead of dealing 20 damage, it heals 20 damage from this Pokemon when you do so, when you put an energy on it. It's just a lot more lackluster. Again, this hasn't seen any play once for me, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. So Leafeon-Ex is pretty good. If it's in the active spot, you're able to take a grass energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your grass Pokemon. So you can use this, put on, kind of tack on more energies, but the fact that it has to be in the active zone really hurts this card. I think in the right meta, with the right grass Pokemon that really needs energy, like grass energy, I don't even know where this could fit. It's awkward. I know with Celebi-Ex, you could make that work. I still kind of prefer Superior over Leafeon-Ex still. I would put Leafeon-Ex just as potential to be a good card in the future. Okay, and then we have Glaceon-Ex. So during the checkup, this card would do 10 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. I've never seen this really been played. I heard a little bit of hype around it when it first came out, but from there, just nothing came out of it. So I'm just going to put it in trash. Maybe it's worth putting in potential, but for me right now, just trash. So Garchomp-EX, this card when it first came out, it was trash. Everybody was dunking on this card, saying that it's better just to run the other Garchomp, which even then, that one has its own problems because of the way that energy generation works in this game. But now, it has a lot of potential, and it's pretty good. We're seeing it get some play because of Rare Candy, and I'm so mad because I don't have any of these. And yeah, you can pair this with Rampardos as well, and so this card is definitely a very good EX card. So I would put it in the solid section right now. So then we have Probopass-EX. This card, it hits for 90 for 3 energies and it'll take 20 less damage. Just gonna put it in trash here. I've never seen it, never even thought about this card. I kind of forgot it existed. So just trash for now. Then we have Arceus-EX. So Arceus-EX here has a lot of flexibility. We've seen that you can put this card in different decks because they introduced a whole set. I think it was a Shining Revelry set that just has a bunch of cards that work with Arceus-EX. And so that was pretty cool. That was kind of a good way to make this card a flexible card. Hasn't seen a lot of play beyond that. I see it occasionally. I think in the recent episode it popped up. But besides that, I think it's just okay. I think I would just put it as okay because I haven't really seen it. Pidgeot-Ex. So this card is one of my favorites here. This is what started the series, the Pokemon TCG Pocket series. It does 80 damage and then it removes your opponent's energy. I think this card is really good. I would put it above these solid cards where, yeah, I guess like another tier here would have been nice because some of these I would put a little bit ahead of each other, but it's kind of hard to say insane necessarily. I feel like insane is kind of on its own tier, and so I would just put it as a solid card so far. Or you know what, I'll try to be less picky with what's gonna go in insane. I think these are just EX cards that are good right now and that are worth running if you can. So I am just gonna move Garchomp-EX, Pidgeot-Ex up there. I think they're really good right now, and so I think it's fair to put these cards insane, even though they're not as like, they haven't had a crazy history like Darkrai-Ex. They're good and they're seeing play, so it's worth putting it there. Charizard-Ex. So throughout the whole series, Charizard has been like flooding the game. Yeah, whether it's this one or now this one, because of Rare Candy, being able to stoke itself and generate 3 energies for itself with this card is really good, and it makes it super easy to set it up, and it hits for 150 with no negative besides it being 5 energies. That's insane. It's a good card. Then we have Wugtrio. So Wugtrio, this card's a fun one. It just does a bunch of damage randomly. I did make an episode with that card if you guys want to check it out. This is good, but yeah, I haven't seen a lot of play from it. So I think it's better than these okay cards, so I'd put it as solid. Then we have Pikachu-Ex. It does 100 damage, 150 damage for 3, and then has to discard all energies from this Pokemon. That's a heavy cost. I've seen it occasionally, but I would just put it as an okay card. I think later on we can see it getting some more play, but right now I think it's fine there. Then we have Giratina-Ex. So Giratina-Ex, this is the card that kind of, again, shaped the game. When it first came out, just like Darkrai-Ex, it's able to create energies for itself, get itself up and running very quickly, and it's just an insane card. It's Darkrai Giratina. There's a reason why That's an insane combo. Then we have Lucario-Ex. This does 100 damage for 3 fighting energies. Never seen it really played. The other Lucario has been played more. And so I'm just going to put this card as trash here, sadly. Clodsire-Ex does 60 damage and then gets an attack buff if you poisoned your opponent. This card is good. I think this is a good card. I think in the right meta as well, because I want to try it out with the Poison Barb. I think has a lot more potential to rise up the ranks. And so right now, I think I'd put it as solid. Okay, and then we have Tinkaton-EX. Never seen this. It does 80 damage. And yeah, just never seen it. So I don't think it's really worth putting it anywhere higher than that. Okay, so Bibarel-EX. It does 100 damage for 4 energies. And it heals itself. Hasn't seen any play. And just, yeah, I haven't even thought about this card. Decidueye-Ex. This is one of the new cards that came out. Pierce the Pain. I think that's the name of the attack there for 2 energies. That's the one that is able to do 100 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And yeah, this card has seen a lot of play. I think right now it's really good. I still need to play it and make a deck around this, but right now I think it's a solid card. I think it's above some of these in the solid. Okay, so Dhelmise-EX does 80 damage for 3 energies and makes this your opponent's Pokemon can't retreat. Haven't seen this card once, and I have like 6 of these. Never even thought about running it, so sadly just put it in trash here. Incineroar-EX. So this card is pretty good. I recently played it and did not do too well with it, but that was just because of the build. I do believe that this card is good. And the fact that it does it burns your opponent's Pokemon and has an attack for 1 energy is really good. It also has a way to hit even harder later on. This card is great. I think right now, again, it's a little weird putting it on Insane. I'm gonna try not to be too picky with it. I think it's good. It's a good card. Let's just put it in Insane. So then we have Crabominable-EX. This does 40 damage for 1 water energy and then hits 80 every time afterwards. I think this card is good for 160 health as well. This might be a hot take, but I think I'm gonna put it Insane. I think it's a good card. It's very fun too. I really enjoy playing it. And so I'm okay with putting it there. And if you guys want to fight me over that, then it is what it is. Wishy-Washy. This card, I love the art that we've gotten for Wishy-Washy-EX. It just isn't that great. Yeah, it just isn't good because the Wishy-Washys are so vulnerable and easy targets for your opponent. And this card doesn't even hit too hard, even if you go through all that effort. So I'm just going to put it in trash here right now. Then we have Alolan Raichu-EX. So this was the first deck I played when the meta first started out. I think it's really good. It does 60 damage. It can hit for 30 for each energy your opponent has on their Pokemon. So it can get pretty beefy quickly. The thing is right now you have to generate a bunch of energies for it, and that can be pretty difficult. And so right now I think it's just an okay card. Lunala-EX. I really enjoyed playing this card. I thought it was really good, just being able to move your energies around, being clever with it. It was satisfying, and it works really well with Giratina-EX as well. So I'd put it as Insane. Yeah, I feel pretty happy putting it there. Okay, so Passimian-EX. This card, it does 60 damage for 2 energies, and it kind of wants to die, so you can move its energies around. I don't think it's trash in the same sense as these cards. I think it's a little bit better. I just don't see in what meta where this would succeed, but it's pretty good. I mean, it has pretty good potential. So I'm okay with that. All right, so we're down to the final 3 here. We have Alolan Muk-EX. I think this is a very fun card. It does 80 damage for 3 energies, and then it does a random status condition and it can stack them. I think that's a fun card. It just hasn't seen any play, so I'm just going to put it in potential. I think it has the potential to be very good. And then here we have Solgaleo-EX. So this card does, for 2 steel energies, it does 130 damage. And it's able to use its effect in order to rush itself into the board. This card is really good, one of the best stacks right now. So obviously Solgaleo-EX goes there. Then we have Rayquaza-EX. So Rayquaza-EX is able to do a bunch of damage by just with 4 energies and able to blow up the board. I think I'm going to put it as potentially good. Okay, and I think this is going to be the final ranking of Celestial Guardians. This is how I would rank every EX that is currently out in the game right now. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there certain cards that you think I'm just completely wrong with, or some that you just think that, yeah, this is right and this was a good take, even if it's an unpopular one? Besides that, just obviously guys, it's just a tier list, so don't take it too seriously. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.